G'day, I'm Ash, and it is that time again to take a look at the preliminary patch notes and the dev server for patch 1.89, also known as Imperial Navy. So, let's take a look. That and more to come. Now, as per normal, this is a dev server, so everything is subject to change, and it won't be coming to live server exactly as you see it here. And with that out the way, this is the Douglas A22 Skyshark. In warthunder, this is the A2D-1. It's a rank 4 battle rating 4.7 premium aircraft, and it is a turboprop-powered attack aircraft built by the Douglas Aircraft Company for the United States Navy. Now, they built 4 of these in various configurations and so on and so forth, but this stock armament is armed with 4 20mm cannons with 800 rounds, so a decent amount of offensive firepower. In the modifications, you've got access to, of course, the regular universal ground targets, air targets, and stealth, and then you can also hold 2 torpedoes, 2 1,000-pounders, 20 500-pounders, which is going to look insane. I mean, just look at this. That is 20 bombs lined up, one after the other, underneath the aircraft. What, for no carpet bombing? It's absolute ridiculous. Now, it does have a max speed of 293 kilometers an hour. And with all these bombs loaded out, you know, look at there, 220 kilometers an hour taken off the top speed just because the bomb's all on a rack like that. There is no armor protection on the vehicle. Interesting. No bulletproof plating? None. Okay. In terms of X-ray, 2 double wing spars, and the engine is sort of mounted directly underneath the pilot here. Obviously the fuel tank is directly behind the pilot as well, but it's such an odd looking aircraft. I think this will just be an absolute meme machine. It'll be basically America's Wyvern. Next on the list is the Mazon AM Mahler, basically an aircraft that was designed during World War II, however it didn't really get produced until, well, later on. Now, they built 151 of these particular aircraft. It's a single-seat shipboard attack aircraft for use with the United States Navy. Now, it's got 4 20mm cannons. It's a rank 4 battle rating 5.3. Its max speed is 547 kilometers an hour. It does have armor, unlike the previous vehicle. It's got 40mm of bulletproof glass in the front, as well as 9.5mm steel plate, as well as some armor protection underneath the engine. On the X-ray, it's got double wing spar, self-sealing fuel tanks, and it's got a 28-cylinder radial. Fucking fantastic. In terms of modifications, with a 20mm belt, universal ground attack, air targets, and stealth, and a whole ton of different ordnance here. Holy mother of God, that is a lot. You can get so many modifications that I'm not even going to bother reading them out. Just know that you can hold quite a lot of armament with this aircraft. 3 torpedoes and a multitude of rockets and bombs and so on and so on and so on. And then the list just goes on and on and on and on and on. So a very interesting aircraft here. I really don't know what to think of it. Again, it's another ground attack vehicle, but it is in the regular tree this time, sitting just underneath the A26. And, well, this one is a welcome addition. I need something else to grind up my non-existent aircraft trees, as I'm nearly finishing them off. This is the Me-264 America. It's the only aircraft that Germany gets for this particular patch. However, there might be more in the future. This is a rank 4 battle rating 4.7, and in the early 1940s, this was designated as an ultra-heavy bomber, and it was designed early in 1940. Now, it does use Jumo engines from Junkers, which is its competitor company, which is ironic because it should probably use its own engines, although the Messerschmitt probably didn't have the powerful enough engines. It's the exact same engine, although with slight tweaks, as the Ju-88, and there are 4 of them here. So the max speed is 519 kilometers an hour, and, well, another interesting fact is it has 9 crew. In terms of armor, it's basically got none. You've got some around the pilot. We're not going to look at that at all. And let's have a look at the X-ray, because it looks like an absolute zoo in here. There are 9 crew crammed in this aircraft, and they're just fuel tanks for days. That's really about it in terms of, well, the wingspan is absolutely ridiculously long, and the wing spars are doubled up to increase the durability and strength. But knowing how 50 calibers work in this game, I don't think this bomber is going to be particularly effective. Speaking of being effective, let's have a look at its bomb load. It's got 9 250s when you start off. Then you can go to 250s times 3 with 6 500s. You can get 1800s times 2 with 250s times 3. And then you can go for the last modification, which is the four 1,000 kilogram bombs, which I'd say is going to be the most popular bomb load. As to its use, well, it sits just here at rank 4, but I don't think it will be that useful due to it being, well, too late added, if you get what I mean. This thing should have been added when the TU4 was announced, but anyway, little too late. Let's go on to the next thing. Britain gets the Hunter F6. Now, this is a rank 6 battle rating 9.7, and I am utterly in love with the look of this aircraft. It is just fantastically sexy. Just look at it. Its max speed is 1,148 kilometers an hour. At sea level. It's got a turn time of 25 seconds, a rate of climb of 70 meters a second, and is just absolutely gorgeous. Armour, it's got 64 millimeters of bulletproof glass on the front and a 12.7 millimeters behind the pilot. Aside from that, nothing else. Let's take a look at the X-ray quickly. Of course, we've got the guns underneath the pilot, which would give a bit of a buzz, especially with the vibrations. Fuel tanks directly behind the pilot as well, and is slightly adjacent in each wing. 2 double wing spars, and, well, the Rolls-Royce Avon jet engine, as well as some more self-sealing fuel tanks. And I'm just enjoying the deliciousness that is this aircraft. Now, let's have a look at the modifications, because this is where it gets interesting. On the right-hand side, you'll notice there are some modifications. Hooray! You can get a 500-pounder bomb times 2, 2 1,000-pounder bombs, and the SRAMs, so the short-range air-to-air missiles, times 4. Now, these are going to be interesting, because it's the first time, I believe, these early generation missiles, but regardless, Britain actually has somewhat of a competitive jet. The Javelin is not bad, but I am thoroughly looking forward to this thing, and it's definitely a welcome addition. Japan gets 1 aircraft this patch, which is decent enough, I suppose. The J5N1 is a rank 4 battle rating 5.3 heavy fighter that sits just in between the KI-109 and the KI-83. Now, it is got a top speed of 633 kilometers an hour. It's got a turn time of 27 seconds and a rate of climb of 18 meters a second, which is pretty good. However, its armament is really where it's interesting. It's got 30mm Type 5 cannon times 2 with 120 rounds, and 20mm Type 99 model cannons with 700 rounds, and there are 2 of these. So again, another interesting heavy fighter for Japan. It does have some bulletproof armor, 20 mils below, and a bulletproof glass of 70 millimeters. On the X-ray, well, all the fuel tanks are just in the wings, and the guns are mounted just underneath the pilot. Now, the engine is a Nakajima Rame 18-cylinder radial, which air-cooled, which 1,765 horsepower each, which, again, is fantastic. Let's take a look at the modifications. It does not get bombs, it does not get rockets. It is purely just a twin-engine fighter, or, well, technically heavy fighter in that case. And, well, I welcome the addition to Japan. Now, let's get on to the last aircraft of this patch. This is the French F-86K. It's a rank 6 battle rating 9.0 jet aircraft. It's got 20mm cannons times 4 with 528 rounds of ammunition, an odd choice, and it can also hold AIM-9B Sidewinders, air-to-air missiles. Now, its top speed is 1,111 kilometers an hour, and, well, its turn time of 27 seconds at a rate of climb of 56 meters a second. Armor plate, sorry for the glare, silver never doesn't really do well in warthunder. It's got 6.5mm steel plate, a bulletproof glass of 38, and behind the pilot there is another 12.7mm plate. On the X-ray, it has obviously, mounted in the nose, a radar. It's got the guns, obviously, the self-sealing fuel tanks in the wings, as well as underneath and behind the rear of the pilot. It's got the flight controls over the top, a double wing spar, and it's also got a General Electric J47 GE17B jet engine. And really, that's basically it for this aircraft. Now, it is basically an all-weather export fighter, and with that, it does have AIM-9Bs, and that's really the only modification it does get. No bombs, no rockets. It's really just a fighter aircraft, and it should be interesting to see. But essentially, 120 were built by North American, and 220 were built by the company in France, which was Fiat, and that's really it. It sits right underneath the MD452 in the export line with the other American fighters. So yeah, that's really that. Alright, well, that is it for the wrap-up of Aviation for patch 1.89. I hope you enjoyed this video. There'll be more to come. We're going to take a look at some tanks. We're going to take a look at... we're not going to take a look at ships. I bloody hate ships with a passion. And take a look at the new maps, have a look at some of the other critical features, and then we're going to live stream this later on today. So anyway, stick around. Thank you very much for watching. My name's Ash, and I'll catch you in the next one. Oh, and patch notes are in the description down below. Don't forget that. Alright, bye-bye.